All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are so happy to be coming to you live from CoachCon with Randi Brill.
Yes,
right?
Yes, you got that.
And Randi, again, for those who don't know me, I'll do a quick introduction. My name's Chad Johnson. I've been a client since only 2004. Okay, so coming up on 20 years. I had a printing and packaging company, screen printed labels on glass bottles for food, wine, cosmetic companies, and I wanted to grow it. And I came to Coach, and immediately Dan's thinking started to change everything. And then about 9 years ago, as that business was growing and scaling, I started another company, and all of a sudden I got the opportunity to coach, a strategic coach. And so I've been doing that almost 10 years now, which is crazy. And then last year, Dan chose me and several other coaches to take on some of his 10X clients as he bumped to Free Zone. And that was just another great experience for me. So today I get to run a real estate holding company and a health and wellness business and do coaching and do high-level events for married couples. So that's what I get to do right now. And we have a guest. And Randi, super glad to meet you.
Finally.
I can't believe it's taken I know, because you've been around Coach longer than I have. When did you join
Well,
this
yes
place?
and no.
Okay.
I started in 98.
98.
I do tell people it was Dan's toddler program. But the reality was I joined to get more time. I had this big business in design, creative development, packaging, education.
Wow.
And I could not see the nose in front of my face. So I
Needed time.
joined to get more time.
Yeah.
And my coach was Dan Sullivan. So I ended up doubling my business.
Did you get any time back?
I did get time.
get time,
And
too.
the thing is, I got time. Not only did I get time, I met my husband.
What? At Coach?
Yeah, no, not
Oh,
at Coach.
I'm going, wow,
No,
we're
no.
better than I thought.
No,
okay.
that would be another service offering
didn't
for
know
Dan.
that was part of the program.
No,
Okay,
no.
yeah.
I met my husband.
Okay.
I made time.
So you meet your husband.
Well, the
Now you got
point
time.
was, I finally realized if I would spend 10% of the energy putting myself out into the world, as I did to take care of my company,
Wow.
and somehow in one of my I was in one of the early Coach 2s.
Yep.
Dan and I started a packaging company one time.
No way.
But remember, you don't remember Coach 2?
I didn't. No, I did not.
well, Coach
I knew of
2
it, but I never joined.
Dan had this brilliant idea to help the entrepreneurs uniquely package. This
Right.
was the beginning.
All right.
And Randi would show up. I was never boring. And I'd be in this room full of financial planners. Usually it was all the boys and Randi. And I would come in, and every quarter I would bring, graphics and designs and folding things and presentations. And, at the end, Dan ran a little free form compared to some other coaches.
Sure.
And
Always
he
has.
would go around at the end and he would say, what's your big takeaway? And my dear friend Gary Boomer, do you know
yeah, I
Gary?
know
You
Gary
know and
Boomer.
love Gary.
I know and love
Gary goes, well, I'm very clear that my plan is I'm going to hire Randi to do my packaging. And Dan never missed a beat. And he goes, well, Randi and I are discussing her starting a company to do this for entrepreneurs. And I didn't flinch either. I said, yes, we're going to be chatting right at the end of this session. And that company was called Branducated. Branducated, branding you through educational wisdom.
Wow.
And how you educate your clients. Here's the problem. Dan Sullivan and Randi Brill were early.
Really?
Shock of all shocks.
Yeah.
But that baby company, the challenge was I had these $1 million projects, and I had an entrepreneurial client that wanted something Tuesday, but they wanted to start Wednesday.
And you didn't have all the team and all the
couldn't,
infrastructure.
the thought was this would fill in between these big behemoth projects. But entrepreneurs have an entrepreneurial time system, which is yesterday.
That's it.
And I realized I couldn't do justice. But boy, was that valuable to me, because what it did was it was just back here, percolating. And the last 2 decades in education and publishing and, adoptions, tough business.
Wow.
And, look, for years, I made product that helped kids learn and teachers teach. That's remarkable and that's wonderful. If you can do that, you can help an entrepreneur figure out what matters. And as a result, I started missing my entrepreneurial roots.
Interesting.
I left after I met my husband. I ended up having 2 babies.
Oh, congratulations.
And it was interesting. When I decided to come again to coach, I was talking with Stephanie Song, and I said, I think I left in 2015. She said, Randi, you left in 2007.
Whoa.
I said, 2007? That's impossible. I had a 2-year-old. You're right.
Yeah,
I didn't do anything.
Wow.
But I had a 15-year coach-abatical.
Yep.
And what happened, you know how when kids go to college and they say, isn't it remarkable how smart mom and dad got while I was gone? Not only did I grow and change, oh my gosh, Strategic Coach is transformed.
Yeah.
Yet the fundamental tools
We're all there.
that I grew up with,
Still
the
everybody's-
strategy circle,
the
the
impact
unique
filter.
value, the
all of it.
process, all of it, naming,
Yep.
every one of those intrinsic fundamentals still matters.
Yes.
We just do it with so much more impact
So
and
good.
power.
Oh, wow.
So I decided I was going to work with only people I liked.
It's a good rule.
Yeah, well, I worked with a few I didn't, and I decided I wasn't going to do that
Remember
anymore.
that.
But I realized the people that I like, the people I want to play with,
Yeah.
are people like me.
Imagine that.
I know, shocking.
Right.
Do people like us do stuff like this, Seth
Come
Godin?
on.
I mean,
Right.
seriously?
Right.
But I realized that's a narrow world, entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, Randi.
You thought it was too narrow?
Well, wait a minute. What I did was I went, do a little research. I have a decent red, not a remarkable red. I'm a 4582.
She's talking Colby. Yeah.
But I
4, 5,
just have
18.
enough
A decent red.
I have a respectable red, although it is certainly a company color, and a shoe color. But the key is I had enough to do some research. And I said,
Yeah.
Randi, there have to be enough. 31 million entrepreneurs.
Is that enough?
I don't need 31 million.
I didn't figure you did.
I need to work and play with the right 500 entrepreneurs. Think about this.
I know.
If I do design packaging, and we're going to talk about that in a minute because I know you don't know what that is because I made up that term.
You made it up.
Oh, I certainly did.
Okay. Well, I'm going to hear about it.
You will in a minute. But the key is if 500 entrepreneurs figure out how to package what sets them apart
Yeah.
in a way, I mean, you know what sets your businesses apart.
Yeah.
Do the people you want to have know it?
Such a good-
That's what
That's
design
the question.
packaging does.
That's brilliant.
And what it is the entrepreneur leads, the entrepreneur drives the bus. I am simply helping you steer.
Wow.
And I am planning a route.
Wow.
But with my sense of direction,
Wow.
we better have a GPS because
I'm sure you get there.
I do get
eventually.
there. I do
and it's
get
fun
there.
along the way.
And the creativity is it's not always a straight shot.
Of course. Of
But
course.
the key is I realized if each of those entrepreneurs figures out how to add $1 million or $2 million worth of value in this world as a result of their design packaging,
Yeah.
that's $1 billion worth of creative entrepreneurial
Beautiful.
value out there. Talk about a scalable model.
Absolutely.
And I don't need to have 80 people on my staff to make
Wow.
that happen.
Wow.
So that's my win-win.
That's your and the name of your
It's
organization?
just Call Randi. And do you know why?
Just Call Randi.
Because no matter how many ways I named my businesses, and I had a few,
Yeah.
nobody, they would say, oh, just call Randi. She'll know what to do.
You let them name it.
Oh, for God, it only took me 3 decades.
You know what though? Isn't that the best? We listen to our clients and they
Well,
actually
finally
tell
I
you.
did,
Right?
yeah.
Just call Randy. Just call Randy. Just call Randy. Just call Randy. It's
Well,
it's
just call
sticky.
Randi. And you
can't-
know what? They do.
Of course.
And I'm proud and I'm honored
Wow.
because entrepreneurs as clients, the trick with design packaging is many entrepreneurs, and I work with entrepreneurs within Strategic Coach and outside of Strategic
Is there?
Coach.
You said you were looking for your 500. Who's your ideal client?
My ideal client has to be a growth-oriented entrepreneur, somebody ready to take that next step, whether it is someone who's ready to give back in a new way, ready to create a new product, a new service. The key is they have enough clarity. I have what I call the 4 C's to figure out. I mean,
clear.
I can't price something when we haven't invented it yet,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
However, especially financial planners
Okay.
have a very burning desire to know what they're going to invest.
Sure.
So I had to come up with a way to scale this and
Okay.
create a budget that we could play within
Yeah, yeah.
and honor.
Yeah.
So I look at the calendar.
Sure.
How fast do you need it? I look at the complexity. How complicated is
Sure.
it? I look at how much consultative hand-holding you and I need to do.
Right.
And then I'm very, very clear on just how much, calendar, complexity, how much collaboration we have to do, and how much clarity you have.
Yeah.
If you are not clear, I promise you,
Yeah.
my design work will get you clear because I will show you the most beautiful wrong thing ever.
Interesting.
Well, design smokes it all out.
Wow.
You tell me this is your process, and I build that process.
And if it doesn't
you say,
resonate,
no, that's not it.
then you.
But
Wow.
here's the problem.
Interesting.
You are the one who guides it. I actually wrote a little song called the Brokey Pokey because a lot of entrepreneurs, well, it's true, I'll sing it for you someday. The Brokey Pokey is that as entrepreneurs, you cannot simply write a check and delegate design packaging. You are the driver, you are the visionary.
Sure.
You are the one sitting there saying,
Sure,
this is what I want to
Yeah.
create. You
Yeah.
can't write the check and
No,
phone it in.
no.
You have to play with Randy.
Yeah. That's
I'm
good.
not for everyone. I want
Sure,
you to know that.
sure,
But
sure.
for the people who want to play with somebody creative, I mean, you go to our booth, it looked from soup to nuts, from the biggest banner to the biggest rug to the tiniest little label on every piece of candy in that booth. It is a consistent brand of Rand.
Well, I can't wait to check it out.
Well, you
and
can.
I'm going to check it out.
Okay.
I'm super glad that you, first of all, thank you for your sponsorship here at CoachCon.
Hey,
It means a
I
lot.
love Coach. I'm
It
back
does
in a
lot.
real way.
You are. Tell me this, what are some of the mindsets that you feel like you've been given through your coach journey that have really just helped you blow
It's
the
all
top
about
off?
confidence, my friend.
Confidence.
It's all about when Dan said confidence is like your actor's equity card. The thing that gives you confidence is confidence. You know, I tell my girls that, you know what, stand tall.
Yeah.
Wear the shoes,
Yeah.
even.
The boots with
Wear the
sequins. I mean,
boots.
do
Well,
it.
do you know why these are glittery boots?
I have no
Because
idea.
I'm in Nashville,
cool.
although, darling, we call it Nash Brill.
Nash.
Of course we do.
She's got a brand.
I
right?
do. Bling it
Nash
on.
Brill.
Bling it on.
on.
But the key is everybody has ruby slippers. We all have the power to click our heels together. We just don't know how to use it when we can't find our confidence.
Wow.
And I have ruby slippers at my booth, but I decided we're in Nashville, so I better have my ruby slipper
you better bling it on.
boots. But,
Okay.
but the key is the confidence,
Yeah.
the ability to take, I mean, look at DOS.
Yeah.
I mean, talk
Isn't that
about
beautiful?
fundamentals.
Yeah.
Your dangers, opportunities,
Yeah.
and strengths, not just for you,
Yes.
Randi Brill,
That's right.
but for your client.
Come on.
What is scaring them? What's keeping
That's
them
it.
up at night?
That's it.
And
Brilliant.
and the power to do that. I mean, look, I decided in January I was going to write a book. And then I decided if one is good, and I don't believe this is what Dan meant with the triple play, but I decided I should do 3.
This January?
January. Yes,
Are
January.
those the 3 books I've seen?
These did not exist.
In January?
In January.
Share up.
What we
do you
have
got?
are 3 books.
Yeah.
We have the first one, which is for entrepreneurial teams. This is for your staff. Every single one of these is 6 words long. That's it.
I can do 6.
And then on the back, we tell you why it matters to entrepreneurs and how you as a team can put it together.
So fun.
This is simple. This is for your team.
Yep.
These are the ones people are buying them and they're keeping them in their drawers for birthdays and onboardings, and there's
good.
even a little place for you to write your little name. But this was for the teams.
Okay.
And in my publishing background, people have said to me, I think I want to write my book. So we have a process, the Story Accelerator, and we do all of that. But they were tripping, they were scared, they didn't know how to do it. I mean, writing your story is a very vulnerable thing.
Sure. Sure.
However,
Wow.
if you're not willing to put your story out there, how are you going to inspire the next group of entrepreneurs to take that plunge?
Sure.
All those people still sitting in corporate America still afraid. So I came up with Let Me Entertain You. Yes, that's me. Sad but true. But, you know, what I did, this was my first sale.
Come on.
I was 3 years old.
Come
My
on.
dad didn't want to write up his orders. They were
No
pre-printed
way.
envelopes. So I colored and I mailed them in.
That's so good.
Oh, yes.
That's so
Oh,
good.
yes. I got.
Come by it honestly.
Yeah, I
Entrepreneur to the
do.
core.
I absolutely do.
To the
So this
core.
is my story
Okay.
on 6 themes. And at the
good.
end of every theme, there's a place for every entrepreneur to capture their ideas. What does this inspire? Do you remember the first time you
So
had a lemonade
this is
stand?
to help entrepreneurs tell their story.
To help them tell their story.
on.
And I
Okay.
even reveal my bad hilarious escapades.
Those are all you?
Well, of course they are. These were the only photos I could afford.
That's amazing. That's so good. It looks like a yearbook. You had a lot of different looks.
Oh my goodness,
A lot of
I
different
certainly
looks.
have. I certainly have. And the most important one, though,
Okay.
is how to help people understand what design
Packaging.
is. This is for those big dreams. Teams,
Wow.
themes, dreams. And the trick is, anyone can write a trilogy. I wrote a Brillogy. Are you getting this? I
I'm
think you're
picking
getting
up what
this.
you're putting down. I am picking up what you're putting down. Okay, so tell me this.
Yes.
You mentioned some things.
What?
You've mentioned, first of all, these mindsets, protect your confidence, all these beautiful things that have helped you. What do you see in the clients you work with, because you work with entrepreneurs? What are some of their, and you mentioned DOS, what are some of the dangers that they face?
Their dangers?
Yeah.
One of the most significant ones is thinking writing the check is a replacement for having the heavy thinking.
Okay.
I mean, Dan always talks about thinking about your thinking.
It's so good what you just said.
If you do not put in the time,
To do the visionary work that a visionary
it's
does.
hard. I call it, if you don't want to do the head hurting,
Yeah.
tough thinking
Yeah.
with me, don't read
You're
the book.
fooling yourself.
Well, don't read
Well,
the
you know-
book because you're not going to be happy.
You know what's crazy is, Randy, you just hit on, I think, a massive issue that I've had as a visionary entrepreneur, and I've suffered a lot with like website design or building out some of those things where front stage because of the fact that I thought, oh, write a check, the experts, but deep down I do know I want something
No
specific.
one knows
but
your
nobody-
business better than
right?
you do.
And but yet, tell me this. So do you have a unique process that allows that
do.
extraction to take place?
4 steps.
That offsets their danger. So
4 steps. It's the 4 dots creative framework.
That
You'll
makes
see the 4 big giant crayons at our booth.
yeah,
We define it,
yep,
we design it,
yep,
we help you tell it,
yep.
and then you sell it.
Come on, very sticky. So
And that's what we do. But their DOS is, people have a fear of taking a risk. Even entrepreneurs who are so
prone to risk taking, right? In many
we
ways.
are,
But yet,
but you know that little voice inside.
sure.
When you get quiet. The other thing that I think is so profound, and I know I am guilty of this, and I call it melting your ice. Because when you think about your unique ability,
Yeah.
when you think, here's my unique ability, here's what I'm excellent, here's my competence, here's
Yep.
my incompetence,
Yep.
I know I should never touch the copier.
Sure.
Everyone around me knows if it has a plug, Randy leaves.
Right.
However, this is how I hurt my hand. I was doing the booth yesterday, unsupervised. But the kid,
Right.
I didn't listen. I crossed over. I went into the wrong line. But the key is when you look at it and when you look at your incompetence, your competence, and your excellence, ICE, melt your ice. It's the E's that get us.
Of
because
course.
we're good
Of
at
course,
them.
Of course.
And we say, here, give me that.
That's right. That's right.
That I can do it faster.
That's right.
We say we want to delegate. I have seen examples of some of the most horrific non-delegation
Yeah.
in entrepreneurs. They want to do it. Sometimes they think, oh, I'll just give you to my assistant. Well, darling, your assistant doesn't have your job.
Right. No, that makes absolute sense.
So I
So I
extract a
love it.
promise.
I love that, and that they are going to do the heavy lifting. They're going to do
they're
the hard
going to.
work.
When Just Call Randy just calls you, you will pick up on the first ring.
Yeah.
I will not bug you. I will work with
Yeah.
teams.
Yeah.
But I prefer to do my first project
Wow.
with you because that's how I understand what matters
Of course,
to you.
got to get to the source. That's so good.
So that's how that
Awesome.
works.
Well, Randy, thank you so
Are
much.
you exhausted?
No, I'm excited. I think what you've done is
Thank you.
phenomenal, and I mean it. The work you're doing with entrepreneurs is really
I love
spectacular,
them.
and I can tell
I
you
really
have
do.
a passion for it. And welcome back to Coach. Welcome back to.
Well, I
the
don't
first ever
go back.
CoachCon.
That's it.
And
I come again.
come again.
I
come
don't
again.
go back.
And don't ever leave now.
Oh, I'm
All right.
in.
All right.
In
She's
for a penny and for
Okay.
a pound. And,
thank you.
and wait till the next CoachCon. I cannot wait. And anybody who didn't get here for this first one,
Right.
the inaugural voyage or whatever we call it,
I think that's perfect.
you know, next time it'll just be that much
Oh,
stronger.
is it? I mean, has this not been phenomenal though?
It's and we're just warming
I know.
up.
I know. We haven't
are
had our
just
first party
getting the
yet.
hang of it.
You
I
haven't
know.
even danced in those
well,
boots.
no, but I am dressed for it.
Oh, if you're ready.
Yeah, I
Okay.
am. Thank you.
Thank
I'm
you, Randy.
so
So
happy
great to
we
meet
got
you.
to spend this time
Thank
together.
you. It's been a treat.